How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I want to talk to you today about my decision to sell Workhorse and when I would possibly buy back in, and something that you might not have considered about Workhorse right now that is a potential headwind because they've had the contract decision pushed back several times. And if you remember, we had all the proposals due by July of this year, but they've pushed back this USPS decision for a while before that. So I think there could be a potential where they open this back up again. And I could be wrong. It's a little bit speculative, but I want to talk to you about some of the headwinds that face Workhorse right now and maybe some possible upside to Workhorse too, along with when I would buy back into the company. So if you guys like this, if you guys like the channel, please leave a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Also, if you want to help support the channel in another way, you can hit subscribe. We're on the road to 40,000 subscribers. And if you want up-to-date information, for example, people in our Patreon group were able to kind of point out the fact that Workhorse was dropping very quickly. They were able to find the article and they told everyone pretty early on, if you want to be able to get that kind of news pretty quickly, you can join our Patreon. Through that, you can join our Discord, which means that you can join in with the 700 plus other investors that are watching the market diligently all the time. Also, you get access to my buys and sells. So you will have seen that I had sold it at a lot better price than it is now. Also, if you want 4 free stocks through WeBull, you can definitely check out the link down below. If you deposit $100, you get 4 free stocks, and you get some up to $1,600. So definitely check that out. So Workhorse dropped drastically last night after this article came out on trucks.com. Now, I saw this come out and the stock was down about 10%. We saw it drop down about 10%. I had to verify whether this seemed like it was a legitimate resource because I've been saying for a while that I think that if we get another delay, if we get something that pushes it back through longer than the end of the year, I thought the stock would go down. Now, I've been saying that if we get some kind of delay or if we don't get the contract or if we see a massive sell-off because maybe the institutions know something that we don't, then I would sell out of the stock. Now, we've seen it track down a little bit over the last couple of weeks, and then we saw a massive drop. I saw it dropping more, so I wanted to sell out. So that is why I sold out. If you haven't seen the article already, you can see that they had actually spoken with someone from USPS. They actually said that at the bottom of the page, that they spoke with someone from the USPS and they have pushed back the decision date. Now, we have not gotten any confirmation about this from USPS, but the person that wrote this article has said that several times in several different media, including in the comments of this section on their Twitter. They've said it multiple ways. Amid continuing concerns and in order to provide for capital investment activities and required approvals, the program scheduled has been revised and a decision is now planned for Q2 of fiscal year 2021. Now, this is someone from the USPS. It's a spokesperson for them. This strikes me as interesting for a couple reasons. First of all, they need the money for capital investment activities and required approvals. I don't know exactly what they're pointing to here, but the fact is their trucks are literally on fire. They've been there for a lot longer than they were supposed to. They're not safe anymore. So this seems like the best investment that they could make for the company that pretty much just needs to hire people and then just ship their products. So I would think that this would be number 1 or number 2 on their list of stuff to do. It also says here that they missed several targets for awarding the contract in 2019 and 2018. I don't know if they would allow other companies to put in bids for this again, because obviously they ended bids in July of 2020. So if they've pushed it back several times, then they allowed more people to get in because the proposals were due in 2020. So they pushed it back a couple times. They reopened it. So that is something that I think I would consider if I was you, that might be something that could possibly be bad for Workhorse. Now, this caused the stock to go down. I did a video on it, and it was one of my better performing videos. But if you look here, I have 168 dislikes and 863 likes. A lot of people not liking the fact that I was talking about selling a stock, especially one that I've talked about a lot, which I understand. But you have to remember a couple things. First of all, I'm not selling it and just keeping my money in cash. I'm putting in other assets. For example, I bought NEO today. I bought it a little bit later than I wanted. I bought it at 44. But since then, it's up a significant amount, 8 to 10%. So it's not like I'm just sitting on cash now. I'm using it for things I think are more productive. Now, I also saw the opportunity to sell before a lot of people were able to sell, because some people aren't able to access the market in post-trading hours. With WeBull, you can do that. So I sold off, an hour and a half after the market closed. With WeBull, you can do that. You can sell before and after market hours. I also have had other stocks that have done well for me, like NEO, that I want to reinvest the money in. Now, there are a couple headwinds that I see kind of affecting Workhorse going forward. Some things that I think you should consider. First of all, they pushed back the contract decision multiple times. They've allowed companies to get in on the action this year, and they've pushed it back several times before. So that might be a concern if they open it back up. Now, even if they don't do that, Workhorse still has to win a majority of the contract, and that's something that I think they can do, or at least part of it. There are only 3 companies left, but from then, they still need to ramp up production. They are only at 7 vehicles. They had 33% of their workforce staying at home due to the pandemic. And then they also need to become profitable, right? Luckily, they have 10% of Lordstown, so that kind of helps them out, but they still need to become profitable and be able to make these at a good cost that they are able to earn money on. There's also more and more competition as we move along. We've seen the Ford E-Transit. We've seen other vehicle makers, other SPACs that are talking about getting in the last mile delivery space. So I think as time goes on, if you look past the USPS contract, it's going to be more and more difficult because there are major players that are starting to make vehicles in this space. Now, when would I consider buying more? Well, I think I need to see 2 things. First of all, I need to see them up delivery numbers. So we're not supposed to get the USPS decision until the end of next quarter. So probably March or April. But before that, we should get our 4th quarter delivery numbers. We went from 2 or 3 deliveries in Q2 to 7 in Q3. I think that I would like to see them up the delivery numbers. We need to see like 100 or something just to feel good about the company in general. We need to see them be able to increase those numbers. And then second of all, I want to see them actually get the USPS contract now. I wouldn't just buy in if they start upping the numbers because they are still valued pretty high. I mean, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. I would like to see them get the USPS contract before I would buy back in. And even then, I'm not sure that I would still buy back in. Maybe if they start ramping up production and things are all green from there, or all peachy, but there still is a long way ahead of them. So I would want to see both of those things happen, and then I would consider buying back in. At this point, I had a lot of money in it for my portfolio, and I just saw other assets that were falling down also today. And I knew that there were going to be buying opportunities yesterday when I sold out of Workhorse. So I sold out my shares. I'm happy with my decision. I fully realize it could go up to $40 a share by the end of the month, and I would have missed out on that. But the thing is, there are opportunities everywhere, so I'm okay with it. I hope you guys can appreciate that and appreciate what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's a bad stock. You should definitely do your own research. Just in my situation with what I was looking for, at this point, I didn't want to hold on to the stock anymore. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully you hit the like button. We got a lot of dislikes yesterday, but hopefully you guys can hit that like button for me today. I appreciate it. Also, if you want to know exactly what I'm buying and what I'm selling, I bought some stocks today. I actually talked about both of them, I believe, in my videos today, NEO and SBE. So I'll put up those on the end screen so you can see those videos. And if you want to know what I'm selling in real time and buying in real time, though, you can check out my link down below to Patreon. And you can check out the link down below to WeBull if you want to be able to trade pre-market and post-market hours and get some free stocks in the process. Just deposit $100. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.